Hello everyone, I'm Neetsel and this is Tintin in Tibet. So this game was made by Infogram, and if you never heard of Infogram, they are a bit like the French LGN. They made a lot of game adaptation of Belgian and French comic books, and this one is probably the most popular one. So let's get started right away. Alright, so Tintin in Tibet. It actually doesn't start in Tibet, it starts in another comic that is called Tintin and the Blue Lotus. And already I'm taking damage that I shouldn't take, but that's alright. We're going to damage boost through all of these, and hopefully I won't die on with that train. Alright. So yeah, it's always a bit worrying. So this game in Europe got a really bad reputation, just like most Infogrames game. So what you should know about Infogrames is that they make games that look really good usually, but they are extremely difficult. For instance, this swimming session, you have these whirlwind that just appear a bit out of nowhere, and you just have to memorize everything to get through it. And that's the big summary of this game, is that you have to memorize everything to get through it, because obviously there are no continues in this. There are passwords, but you get one like every 4 levels, which is really not nice. So like I said earlier, this level actually takes place in Tintin and the Blue Lotus, and it shows how Tintin met his best friend Chang, whom I'm going to save right now. Here we go. That's well done, Tintin. So now Tintin is on holiday. This is part of the Tintin in Tibet story. He's on holiday. Everything is trying to murder you because, well, it wouldn't be a really nice holiday without the cleaning ladies trying to run into you, and little dogs as well. These dogs are probably the worst enemy in the game. I expect to die to them because the collision is really massive, and the way you're supposed to avoid them is actually by moving to the foreground like this. But yeah, it's actually faster to just jump over them. Alright, we only have 2 little dogs to avoid. Hopefully we'll make it through. Okay, this one is pretty safe. It's really the next one that I'm worried about. Alright, so this is also free. And yeah, it's the one when you come back that's always a bit of a problem. Okay, we made it through. That's awesome. You don't realize how much anxiety that dogs brings to me. So yeah, in this level, what happened story-wise? Well, Tintin learns that Chang took a plane. Oh, I forgot to start the timer. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, so we learned that. Cheng took a plane to visit us, and that plane crashed in Tibet. So apparently everyone is dead, but Tintin got a dream, and in that dream he sees that Cheng is alive, so he decides to go help him. Okay, so something that you might notice is that the path that I'm taking is not super obvious. That's because every level got objectives that you have to complete in a specific order, except the game is really bad at telling you what you're supposed to do. So, for instance, that kid I just talked to, he says follow me, and actually you have to go all the way the other side. Okay, going to damage boost through these. I must be careful there because it's always super close with those, so I'm always a bit worried about that. I'm going to pick up this life right here because it gives all our health back, which is really nice. Going to wait for that lady to pass by. She came back, so we jump over her, and that's it for this level. Okay, I really messed up the timer, but it's alright. So this level is one of the worst casually in my opinion, and that's because it's really hard to read what's happening on the screen. You have rooftop pieces coming at you, barrels in the water, and you have a puzzle as well to solve. So I have to pick up this crate, and I'm going to use it to help a little girl down the street. Alright, almost there. So yeah, this little girl, she wants to get across the street. If we don't help her, it doesn't unlock the end of the level. So we are forced to do this. Okay. This jump is a bit tricky. We made it through. We can damage boost through this. Okay, and we're done with the first section of the game. We get the first password, which is pretty good. If you manage to reach that point casually as a kid, well, well done to you, because it's really tough. That first part of the game is probably the second hardest in the whole game. So this level, we have these yak moving around the environment. Some of them block the path. What you're supposed to do is use grass to make them move and be able to jump over them. But we are just going to damage boost through them because it's way faster. Okay, we are going to pick up a little bit of health because these yak, they remove 2 health points and I almost died there, so whew, pretty happy I survived this. So yeah, you can see my jump, I'm struggling a little bit, and that's because the physics in this game as well is really weird. Is that to make to be able to perform most jump, well, you need to run, but running makes you slide a lot, and so it's always a bit tricky once you mess up a little bit not to fall down a hole or something like this. Alright, so this level, another swimming stage, except this time around I can climb on these rocks and run, which is definitely the fastest way to do this level. I'm really sorry I can't read the comments, I'm really bad at that, and this game is really brutal, even though I'm going for the safe strat right now. Like you saw, I picked up a lot of life, and well, for a PB I would definitely not do this. The thing is that this game can play mean tricks to you. It's like in the last few levels there are some RNG that can actually decide to kill you, and there's nothing you can do about that. Actually, during my practice run, I almost game over just because of the RNG. It was really insane, I never got that before. Okay, probably one of the most infamous level of the game. So, right here, you can see these orange statues. So, I have to go on the left side because passing them on the right brings bad luck, and in this game it means that you die instantly, which is always nice when that happens in a game. So something that is a bit tricky as well when you play this the first time around is that when you jump in this level you can notice that Tintin slows down, and that's one of the reasons this level is so hard, is that every time you have to jump over a rock, well, actually you have to jump later than what you think you should do. Alright, we are reaching the end. This tree is usually glitched, so like you saw, I was ducking. I should have gone through, but yeah, this game is a bit broken in places like that. Alright, so this stage I'm going to use these snowballs as platform. Main issue with this level is that it's really hard to tell what is the background and what are actually platforms. And like many levels in this game, it's really built like a maze, and so you really have to figure out which direction to go when playing casually. And as you might have noticed on the top right, there's a timer in this game, and that timer never stops. Like if you're talking to someone, well, that timer keeps on running. So during like a conversation at the end of the level, you can still time out if you want to read the story. Okay, made it through that jump, which is really, well, it's not an easy jump. Alright, we are going to damage boost through this. Here we go. Okay, not so bad so far. Okay, so we get the second password and we are reaching the wreck of the plane. So this level introduces items that we are going to use, and we are actually going to keep one of them until the end of the game. So, whoa. So these motors, they are randomized. So if you're a bit unlucky, well, you can get hit because you can just stop and start like without you noticing. Okay, I'm going to take 2 damage here, but that's all right. So I picked up a pickaxe and a rope. The pickaxe, I'm going to use it right away to climb up this slope. And the rope, we are going to use it over there, and we'll be able to swing across the gap. Again, there is nothing telling you that that's the place where you have to use the rope. So it's really confusing. Right there, I used a little glitch. So in Tintin's knockback animation is actually invincible. So if you play that animation while something is coming at him, well, you can avoid taking damage that way. All right, so this level, this is the worst one in my opinion, casually, because it's a maze again, but there are foregrounds that just hide the direction that you're supposed to go. So I could get behind that foreground, but like this one I can't. And figuring out which one are actual walls and which one aren't is really painful casually. Okay. So I have to duck right here. We're going to make a boulder go down all the way down the level. This level as well is a lot bigger than what you're seeing. So okay, I messed up that jump. It's alright. Hopefully I don't die here. Okay. Okay, it's pretty good. It's not good anymore. Okay, I have to be really careful because these rocks that are falling, they start falling while they are off screen. So you have to actually stop before you see them, because otherwise you would just die. It's really, this game, it's not the worst. It's like for a lot of people, when they think bad SNES game, they think this one, but it's not even the worst Infogrames game, but it's still pretty bad. Okay, we made it through, so we saw that Cheng left us a message. Apparently he survived the crash, so that's really good news. And then outside the cave, we realized that on the cliff, there's a scarf at the top of that cliff. So we are going to try to reach it. This level, as a kid, I really wanted to reach it because it was on the back of the cover, and yeah, it looks so cool. And it's still one of my favorite levels. But casually, again, it's a nightmare because it's a maze. So again, good luck figuring out which direction you're supposed to go. And the other one is that it's a very long level. Casually, it's definitely the longest one. So the way it works is that if I go on top of the snow, I'm supposed to fall. That's not always the case, and that's something that we exploit in the run. But yeah, when you have the pickaxe into the wall, the other character can swing, and that's the fastest way to move across the environment. This section right here, casually you would think, I can't go there. I'm going to go all the way down to the right. And you can actually go that way. There's a really, really long path that you can take. And it takes at least 2 minutes to do. But actually that snow doesn't have collision, so you can just get across in that area. Yeah, it is super safe. It's like doing this, it's really, if I move just an inch to the right, usually I will have the character fall. So it's really, yeah, it's really frustrating as a level. Because of course you are seeing that some of the snow doesn't have collision, but it works the other way around as well. Some of these rocks actually have collision and will make you fall, which is definitely the worst part. Okay, thank God he stopped swinging. So right there, I put the pickaxe into too much snow, so he would kept on swinging. So yeah, I'm focusing a little bit because during practice I fell in this level right at this point, and that's really, really bad. And anyway, I'm definitely not going for a world record right now. Okay, so to give you an idea, because I messed up the split, we're about 16 minutes into the run, I think. Alright, this level is the worst, but mostly when you are doing a speedrun, because this level relies on a wind mechanic, and that wind mechanic is randomized. And there are places where, ooh, I'm a bit worried that it's going to change direction. Yeah. Yeah, and that wind is really mean to us. Because it can change direction in the middle of a jump. And if it does that, well, you just die. And you can wait for a lot of time, some time for it to go the right way. That mechanic is actually so broken that when you play on the hard difficulty, right now we are playing on normal, but in the hard difficulty, like right now, I would just time out, even though I'm doing pretty well at the level. In the hard difficulty, you can just time out just because the wind is not nice to you. Okay. Woo. Okay, we are going to pick up this apple. Entering this cave is awful. That's a cool idea, I think, for the level. The fact that you can enter caves and you have multiple paths in the level that you can complete. I think it's a really cool idea. Main issue is that it's really super difficult. The triggers for all these rocks is feels really random. Like this one I can just jump through it, but the ones before I couldn't. Alright, so I'm going to focus a little bit because yeah, I don't want to die right here, and whew, that was really close, but we made it through. Okay, the monastery. So this level mostly relies on puzzle, so I'm going to focus a little bit because usually in marathon I'm really bad with these puzzle, especially the first one that's a Simon. So okay. Oh, I forgot. Okay, so it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay, then we have to do it again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Thank God. I really hate doing this. When I'm really just focusing on the PB, it's alright, but every time I do commentary for this one, it's I get like really nervous about these. So yeah. Yeah, this level is the longest one in the whole one, and it's only because of the puzzles. So we are going to avoid these kids coming at us. We have to memorize these 4 symbols. I only memorized 2 of them because the last 2, well, if it's wrong, it's just a swap. More monks coming up, and then we have the least interesting puzzle in the run because it's always the same pattern. We have to clean up the monastery library. These are our priorities, people. It's like Cheng is somewhere in the cold and we clean up libraries. So yeah. All right, so we have to stack the books based on the color. It's always the same pattern, which is something that the Game Boy version doesn't do. The Game Boy version, it's fully randomized. I think something that I really like about this game is still how much variety there is to it. Like we had the climbing stage, the swimming section, and even this puzzle stage is still pretty cool when you play it for the first time. The main issue is really the timer. The timer is what makes you fail this level. But yeah, this game was released in the mid-90s, and yeah, it was probably the point where video games got a really bad reputation with violence, since well, you had Mortal Kombat and Doom and all that. And so Moulasar, the owners of Tintin, didn't want the Infogrames to make a violent game. They actually wanted to make a game that was focused on Snowy, but Infogrames said no. And so Infogram, well, they decided to adapt Tintin in Tibet because it was a popular book, and as well it didn't have any actual enemies in it, so it was a really good pick. Oh yeah, that bell puzzle. I don't like the bell puzzle in the Game Boy version, but I really don't like this one. Especially since I don't practice it quite often, so I mess it up quite a bit. But I don't know, I find it more interesting on Game Boy than this one. Okay, so... Okay, I have to find that last sound. Okay, that's the one. Okay, we got it. Alright, final stage. Yeti's cave. So if the Yeti, if the shadow touches me, I die instantly. Okay. We are going to despawn the shadow by landing on the edge of the platform and quickly jumping away. You would need to run back all the way to the start of the level if you didn't do this in the run. Alright, and this is the part where we get a little bit of RNG. First we are going to hide from the Yeti, which again is a really cool mechanic, but nothing explains it to you. It's the first time in the game that we use that. And what's going to be RNG is the final section of the game. Alright, so right here it's a bit RNG. He might catch me, he might not. Okay, we're through, and that's it. That's Tintin in Tibet. So we rescue Cheng. Yeah. So yeah, if I did one right now, you would say that I got the best world record in the world. That's because I mistimed it a little bit. World record is something like 22:30. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the run. It went quite well compared to what I was expecting, what happened in practice. So that's really good. So we rescued Cheng. He's going to tell us what happened to him. So he was in the plane crashed. The Yeti rescued him and kept him alive all this time. And so the Yeti was actually very friendly, and that's the way Cheng survived. And that's the end of the game. So I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoyed the next run, which I think is a randomizer of Zelda Link to the Past in co-op, which is really a really fun category. And thank you for the GGs, everyone. Oh, working player, it's not that bad. It's really, Infogrames made way worse on SNES. And it's not even the worst version of Tintin in Tibet.